We have an opportunity to show you something that, that's built this place and continues to be less of our focus, but it's been our bread and butter for years. The client right now is Ralph Lauren. We're building window sets, several of them for Ralph Lauren. The way this thing is designed is there are indoor and outdoor, very classic, it's Ralph Lauren, so they're very classic pieces. Lots of trim, indoor sets, wallpaper, lower trim, wainscoting, baseboard, exterior pieces that are painted brick and concrete. And we get to show you some faux concrete stuff, which is pretty cool. It's a multi-step process, and hooray.
This particular client, when they come to us with their design, they have the whole set for the entire window, and we've been doing this for several years now. And along the way, I have made CAD models of the windows with the actual sizes and the actual doors that go into them, because some are hard to access. And the first couple, we had to bring a saw to the location several times to make stuff smaller than it is, so it actually fit. But now it all fits. And with this one, especially with this location, we've gotten pretty good at taking their whole design and breaking it down into component parts, so that one window set, instead of being just one piece, we're going to build it here. And I think the average for this particular round, we have 10 or 12 different wall sections per window, and the way they go together, you're almost going to see no seams at all, because we've got those hidden with trim and with corners and with all that. And they also, just because when you build the set in there, you usually end up walling yourself out of the walls rather than living in the window for the duration of the holiday season. We've made some escape hatches for them. You're welcome.
Matt goes through an incredible design process where he figures out how to make all of the walls are basically irregular sizes so that trim hides all of the seams. But this is going to be a run for you to see us build an actual set, a transportable, assemblable and disassemblable temporary set, which is actually, it'll probably be saved because it's a really high quality piece.
So I just wanted to take a quick second here to explain something to y'all. I don't know if we've covered this in a previous video or not, but you'll see me taking a board here, just a board, and putting it just up against the blade, and then moving the blade up, and then chopping it straight down. And what that's doing is that's taking off just a sliver of this end, because when we cut this plywood at 2 5/8, the ends are always going to be rough. They're just straight from the factory, but we want them to be smooth so that when we butt them against one another, it's a nice flat joint. And so in order to just minimize the little bit of waste that there already is, you just put it straight up against the blade, and since the blade's teeth are slightly offset of the blade itself, the body of the blade, it'll trim off just a hair, making it nice and flush. It's just a real quick way of flushing up the end. Quick pro tip for all of y'all, this is a magnet right here. It's one of the extendable varieties. If you're ever using a pneumatic nailer and you find that you ran out of nails but you don't exactly know where you are, grab a magnet and just go through and touch the spots where you last nailed, and if the magnet draws, that was the last nail, and you can really quickly tell where you stopped, so you can not have a big swath of unnailed stuff. So there you have it.
Right, we're about halfway through this. We are attaching the trim. There's lots and lots of trim on the 6 billion pieces of this whole thing. We've been doing this client for a while now. I've actually done CAD models of their actual space of their windows to include the doors that go into the windows, because some of the doors are really, really tiny. So we've gotten good at figuring out how to take their full set design and break that down into component pieces that will actually fit in the door, and then when they assemble, you're going to have as few seams as possible. And this piece right here is going to have an access hatch in this, so that once the designers, we will install the set, and then once the set's up, the designers and stylists have to go in and dress the mannequins and make it look pretty and sell things with it. So this right here, there will be another little wall section that's going to go inside this, and that will disappear. You won't ever see that because it's inside the trim. So we're clever like that.
So we can't film in the store while we're doing the installation. However, here's what's going to happen from this point on, is our installation is complete. Ralph Lauren stylists are going to take over and cover the upper sections of the walls in fabric, and then do a brilliant job, as they always do, of dressing the sets with all of the holiday stuff. And so through the magic of TV, here's a montage of what's happened after they did their job. And so this is the sets complete with
It takes a montage?
it takes a montage.